thank you for joining, everyone. We're just going to give it a minute just to let folks trickle into the webinar, and then we'll get rolling. Just give it a second here as they come in. All righty, we'll just go ahead and get trucking. Look like we've got our critical mass. Everyone, welcome to our Move-In webinar to talk about the spring 22 semester. My name is Ryan Anderson. I am the Director of Housing and Residential Education. I want to welcome you all, not just to the webinar, of course, but to Berkeley in general. It's a really exciting time, and I want to congratulate you on your admittance and to live it on campus, because I think it's like the best option anyway. So super biased, but yeah, looking forward to having you on campus. So we're going to go through a bit here. So my section is rather short, but if you have any questions at all, you can use the Q&A feature of the chat. If you look, it depends on what kind of system you're on, if you're on your phone or your computer or whatever, but you should see a little box that has the option to do Q&A. It's not the chat. It's not the chat bubble. That's something different. It's Q&A. If you drop those in there, my other staff here are going to be monitoring that and either trying to work some questions in during the presentation, or if we can't get to them during the presentation, we'll talk about them at the end. But anyway, so myself, I'm Ryan, the Director of Housing and Res Ed. I want to introduce also Alana Gaffney. She's the Associate Director for Residential and Housing Operations. She's going to be working behind the scenes here to help monitor the chat. And actually, Katie Schmidt, our Assistant Director for Residential and Housing Operations, is going to be the one running the show. So Katie, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'm going to turn my camera off and let you have it.
Sounds good, Brian. You stole my thunder. So again, if you have questions during this session, you can feel free, use that Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. We're also going to talk about how you can get in contact with our office as well after this webinar. So Move-In, it is approaching quickly. So Move-In is going to be Monday, May 16th. New entering students for that summer semester can go ahead and move in starting at 9 a.m. Students can move in anytime after this. I know we've already gotten a lot of questions to our office, maybe you already booked travel plans for a different day. That is totally fine. And so that is just the earliest day that we can accommodate folks who are living on campus beginning to join us. In terms of what that day will look like, I'll talk a little bit about what to expect from the housing perspective, but Berkeley will soon send out more information about the check-in process. That's going to cover everything you need to do before you get to us. So where do you need to go? What time? Where do I pick up my ID? Are there any testing requirements? All of that will be sent to you well in advance of the 16th. Also a note, we do not require masks right now on campus. So it's not something that we're going to require if you've had a move-in with us in the past. We may have required it then. We definitely encourage it for everyone, just given that folks will be traveling from all over, and we're trying our best to keep everyone and our staff safe. In terms of picking up your key, so when you are all ready, you're going to go ahead and report to your residence hall, which for the summer is going to be 98 Hemingway. You will go ahead and pull up. We will have some parking spaces in the front. You will go ahead and speak with staff member there. So we'll have plenty of staff on hand. You can chat with them and you will give them your information. They will make sure to give you your key. And from there, once you have that key in your hand, you can go ahead and start moving in. We will have a couple limited spaces right in front of the building. And so if you are arriving via a vehicle that you're driving yourself, you can go ahead, pull right up, get your key. We just ask as soon as you have unloaded everything from your vehicle, we do need you to move it immediately to a parking garage of your choosing. Our staff can definitely provide some recommendations on the day of if you're not sure which one you would like to go to. If you are arriving after the 16th, you can just report directly to 98 Hemingway. And so we will have keys available just at the front security desk. And so it doesn't matter if you are coming right in the middle of the night or in the afternoon or the morning. Either way, you can arrive at literally any time and you'll be able to pick up your key then. A couple frequently asked questions about summer. So in case you have not received your assignment yet, or maybe you remember getting it and you can't find it, what should you do? If you just want to send us an email at housing@berkeley.edu, we can send you all of that information. If you are somebody who just recently applied, maybe within like the last week and a half, you likely got an email from us saying that we haven't assigned you yet and you're going to get your assignment closer to the 16th. So I do anticipate next week, for those of you waiting on an assignment, that we will have those all set. Another question is, let's say that you are joining us for summer, but you're also interested in fall and spring housing and you haven't yet applied. What should you do? So if you are on our website, you can check out the academic year housing application for continuing students, and that's what you'll want to go ahead and fill out. And so if you're joining us for summer, you signed a housing license agreement for summer only. And so if you do want that academic year housing, it is going to be a separate application. After you fill that out, you would be placed on our wait list and we would be in touch with you very soon regarding your housing status. In case you are still trying to figure out, right, what is it that's in the room, what should I plan on bringing? And we also have a pretty extensive FAQ page on our site as well that we can always probably link in the chat later if needed. And that's going to cover just all the answers to other questions that are frequently asked by entering students and their families. What is it that I need to know about living on campus? What's already provided in the room? How do I kind of know how it is, what to pack for my experience at Berkeley? But really, that's it. So pretty easy process from start to finish, goes by very quickly. If you have questions for us at all, we're available housing@berkeley.edu or 617-747-2292. We operate regular business hours, so Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And then also have information for new student and family programs here in case you have questions about orientation or the orientation schedule. Are there any questions in the chat that we want to answer for the larger group at all?
None right now, but folks, now's the opportunity. If there's anything you want to ask us, now is the time. So feel free to type in the chat and we can get it answered if you want. Excuse me, not the chat, the Q&A. As Katie said, this is being recorded also. So if you want to circle back to it, Lauren is going to make sure that it's posted and available to you. And as Katie said, you can always contact us at housing@Berkeley. And one other thing, and Katie didn't mention this, she probably doesn't want to toot her own horn, but we are pretty quick with the response time. I'm telling you, on the emails and phone calls. So don't feel like if you email us, you're just throwing that email down a black hole. We get back to you. I mean, certainly within a business day, more often than not, it's within an hour or two. So any questions you email, we get on pretty quickly, and we have our front desk covered, 9 to 5 to be answering phones. So if no questions are coming out, it's perfectly fine, but feel free to contact us if you have any going forward.
Brian, can you talk, or Katie, can you both talk a little bit about what happens in the residence halls throughout the semester term? Are there like programs and events for students, that type of stuff, like what to expect throughout the semester?
Yeah, so we have it's regular staffing like we would that you'll see in the full-time year as well if you're joining us for the academic year. And so every student will have a resident assistant assigned to them. And so that is a student leader on our campus who is really there just to make sure that you have a smooth transition. They are going to put on a variety of different events for you. You are going to be able to meet them, have a meeting with other people who live in your community once you arrive, which is really nice. And so that's going to be a really stellar resource for you if you have questions about really anything, whether it's about the Berkeley experience, whether it's about resources on campus. They're like highly trained members of our team, and they're also there to just make sure that you have fun.
We did get our first question in the chat, and Bess is, I think, replying to it. And I'm so sorry, I didn't introduce Bess earlier, but she is also behind the scenes helping us answer questions. Her name is Bess Tracy. She's our area coordinator. But the question was just, is there a list of unapproved items in the FAQ? And there is. We have a really robust, frequently asked questions section, and the unapproved items is in there. The big ones I'll tell you up front: no candles. No candle. That's the big one. We want to stay away from fire, right? So no candles, no open heat elements. So no toasters, no hot pots, no heating element, nothing like that at all. That's the biggest thing I want to highlight. And then all the other things are there. No furniture, no outside furniture is another big one. So please do not bring anything like, extra furniture, chairs or mattresses or things like that. They're not approved. So a lot of it's related to fire code issues. So other questions in the chat? Oh, here's another one. Floor plans, great question. And so Katie actually is going to have, not yet, we were just talking about this today. We are doing those. You see those, like if you look on Zillow or something like that, the 360 view of like homes. We don't have that yet, but we're literally getting that done. Katie has coordinated to have these pictures done for some of our rooms in late May. So no, not in time for you all to move in. It is something we're working on. We don't have floor plans that we can share, unfortunately. Most of our rooms are pretty much similar in size. If it's a double, they're all about the similar square footage. Same thing as a triple, et cetera. But yeah, no, we do not have any floor plans for the building, unfortunately. Good question though. Oh, another thing to keep in mind, I think we should mention also probably as it relates to moving in, it is a 5-story building. There's an elevator. There's one elevator, but it's very small. So really, if 2 people in the elevator, that's like 3 would be crowded. So just keep that in mind. It's a small elevator, but that is nice with the 5 stories. So, any other questions for the chat?
No, I think we're good.
Alrighty. All right, folks. Like I said, shoot us an email if you have any questions going forward. And yeah, we appreciate you coming out, and we'll see you very soon. So welcome to Berkeley. Thank you.